Law enforcement fights crime in our neighborhoods. The eyes and ears of the community can prove vital in these efforts. Stay vigilant, your tip could crack the next case. This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome to this week's edition of Acadiana Crimestoppers, a show which partners law enforcement and community to help solve and prevent crime on our streets. In this episode, we will cover the crime of the week parish by parish. We will also talk Lafayette Parish's Most Wanted with Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas, and St. Martin Parish Sheriff Beckett Bro is in the studio to highlight more cold cases as he asks for the public's help solving unsolved murders in the parish. Our first crime of the week comes from Acadia Parish, where Crowley police are investigating a vehicle burglary captured on camera. Here's Sheriff KP Gibson.
Detectives with the Crowley Police Department are investigating a vehicle burglary that occurred during the early morning hours of October 2nd, 2025. This incident occurred in the 1500 block of North Avenue A. A suspect was captured on video surveillance entering in an unlocked vehicle. The suspect is described as a black male with short dreadlocks, wearing a hooded sweatshirt, long pants, and riding a bicycle. Crimestoppers would like to remind you to remove your property from your vehicles and lock your doors. If you have any information regarding this crime, you urge call the tip line at 789-TIPS or download our P3 app on your mobile device to report your tip. All calls will remain anonymous and can receive up to a $1,000 cash reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. Be the difference. For Crimestoppers of Acadia Parish, I'm Sheriff KP Gibson.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crimestoppers at 789-TIPS. You could earn up to a $1,000 cash reward.
Lafayette Police and Lafayette Crimestoppers need your help identifying a suspect wanted in connection with a business break-in. In the early morning hours of December 7th, authorities say the suspect climbed through a trash chute and entered a business in the 1200 block of Northwest Evangeline Threeway. Investigators say the suspect then collected multiple packages totaling between $2,500 and $7,500. The suspect then fled with the packages in a cart and was last seen walking southbound on the Threeway. Call Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS or download the P3 TIPS mobile app if you know the identity of the suspect. Scott Police are asking for your help identifying this person of interest connected to a vehicle burglary. It happened December 7th in the 100 block of Alpine Drive. If you have any information on this person or of interest, call Scott Police or Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS. Authorities in Lafayette are looking for some fugitives wanted for OWI, domestic violence, among other offenses. That's why we've invited Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas once again for our Lafayette's Most Wanted segment. We appreciate you every week being here on Acadiana Crimestoppers.
And thank you for having me. I really enjoy coming here every week because it makes a difference. You know, this is holiday time, so you're going to see some OWIs that we're looking for. We want to get these people off the street. We don't want anybody driving while you're intoxicated. So I always talk about it's too many other options you have. You can call Uber. You can have a friend drive. It's just too much you can do. So, you know, if anything I ask during the holiday is to just think about what you do and don't drink and drive.
Yeah, OWI, it puts the most people in danger because it's a crime that puts everyone on the street at that time in danger.
And you see that every week. You know, we come here and we're very serious about OWI, just like I'm very serious about domestic violence. So we're not going to allow you to be on the street. We're not going to allow you to just drive and be intoxicated, first offense, second offense, not showing up for court. It's things that we require of you, and it's not the drink and drive.
Exactly. So with that being said, Marshall, let's go into our first person, Philip Dwayne Joseph, OWI, first offense, extensive criminal history, and he has a warrant also out of Roswell, Georgia. So it's an OWI first offense, but he also has other warrants.
And when we talk about extensive criminal history, you know, we put that there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's because we're looking for somebody, it's not the first time they committed an offense, not the second time. When we say extensive, we mean extensive. And we mean it could be felony charges, and it could be charges that, you know, crime against person, you know. So we want these people off the street. And he did not show up for court. you know, this is not his first OWI. This is not his first time being arrested. So we know that somebody knows who he is. And if you do, just contact our office.
Yeah, I mean, he's a high priority. It's not just the OWI that's bad enough. It's the extensive criminal history. And like you said, that's why you guys put it there, to let the folks out there know that getting him into custody is a high priority.
Exactly. And some people are a higher priority than others. That's why I bring the pictures. That's why we talk about these people, because we want to get them off the street. And week in and week out, I always talk about Acadiana, and I always talk about the people that contact our office. It is amazing after we do a show, the number of people that would contact us and say, look, I saw this guy, or I know where this guy at, or somebody that see their cell phone there, or a relative call them, and they call the office and they say, hey, look, I'm ready to turn myself in. So that's what this show is about, and we want to continue to do that.
Exactly. Our second person for this week, Emily Elizabeth Ham, OWI first offense, committed that in Lafayette, and she failed to appear for arraignment. So another OWI case? Another
OWI case, another case that we want to get this person off the street. Remember, it's the holidays. And I always talk about everybody knows somebody who was injured, somebody who might have was even killed in a car accident. Then you find out it was somebody who was driving intoxicated. Let's not let this continue to happen. If you know who this person is, contact us. And again, if you see your cell phone here, contact my agency.
Yeah, especially around the holidays. We wouldn't want anything tragic like that to happen.
Exactly.
Third person for this week, Lexis Monique Hubbard, OWI first offense, committed in Lafayette, but also extensive criminal history. That's important.
Again, this is somebody who's been arrested multiple times. This is somebody who we want to get off the street. Did not show up for court, you know, is not respectful for the law. And a lot of times, if you don't get you off the street, this is the first time you've been caught for OWI. It's not the first time, of course, that you probably drove. It's not, you probably continue to drive. So we ask people, if you know who this is somebody with an extensive record. So if you know who it is, contact us. And if this person see themselves on live on the air, then contact our agency and turn yourself in.
And that's a really important point that you made. People may say, well, it's the first offense, OWI. How many times did they drive intoxicated and they didn't get caught?
Exactly. And how many times are they continuing and do it? Because now you know you're wanted by the law, so you continue to do it and you continue to do it. Well, until you have until we stop it, until we get you arrested or back into the jail system, then you're going to continue to do it. So, you know, you're suspending your license, doing different things that, you know, the judges can do to stop you from driving is things that we do.
So our last person for this week, Marshal Simon Paul Stelly, OWI first offense, committed that in Lafayette, and failure to appear for court as well.
And again, not showing up for court. You know, when you get a subpoena and you need to show up for court, you know the date you need to show up. And if you don't show up, you know you can contact the court and we can reschedule it. But these are people that don't contact the court, do not get it rescheduled, then we go look for you. We go knock on the door, we call and everything, we can't locate you. Well, we know that you're not coming to court. So that's why you then be put up here, and that's why we start looking for you.
And then eventually you'll end up like our person here, Jaden Joseph Menard, who was on the show a few weeks ago, and that case is sealed.
Again, we get contacted. We was contacted. We was told that, hey, this is who he is. This is where he's at. We go out and pick you up, or we contact you and you come turn yourself in. So the show works. We continue to come week in and week out because the show is working. So Acadiana, we ask that you continue to call. We ask that you continue to watch. And when people are doing these OWIs, we want them off the street. And I'm sure the community wants them off the street. So I think we're doing an excellent job, and I just want to keep it up. And as we keep it up, we get people off the street and we show that this is working.
Keeping everyone safe for the holidays.
And that's what we want to do.
Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas, thank you so much once again for being here on Acadiana Crimestoppers for Lafayette's Most Wanted.
And thank you for having me.
We'll be back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
In St. Landry Parish, investigators are asking for your help identifying the person responsible for vandalism at St. Anne's Church. Here's a look at the crime of the week.
You're watching St. Landry Crimestoppers.
Chief Deputy Hillman Papio of the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office joins Crimestoppers today to ask your help in solving the despicable criminal damage to St. Anne's Church.
On November 29, 2025, at about 11:30 a.m., St. Landry Parish deputies were dispatched to St. Anne's Catholic Church just west of Lawtell on U.S. Highway 190. A parishioner, upon opening the building, found broken stained glass from multiple windows, completely shattered. Further inspection uncovered damage to the sewer system, electrical connections, broken PVC pipes, and damage to the spotlight at the statue in the front of the church. The items used in part to inflict the damage were left at the scene and will be processed for evidence. With no video surveillance in the area, we're entirely dependent upon a possible witness to any suspicious activity on the evening of November 28th or the early morning of November 29th.
This disgraceful act should not go unpunished. If you have any information of this or any other crime, you are urged to call St. Landry Crimestoppers at 337-948-TIPS. Remember to download our P3 app and tap the app to say it here and submit your anonymous tips. On behalf of the St. Landry Crimestoppers Board, Chief Deputy Hillman Papillon, the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Bobby J. Guitro, thank you and have a blessed day.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crimestoppers at 948-TIPS. You could earn up to a $2,500 cash reward.
St. Landry Parish authorities also need your help identifying a person caught on surveillance camera stealing a dirt bike from a Washington home. It happened in the early morning hours of December 4th at a home in the 300 block of Dijon Street. A suspect was caught on video surveillance camera stealing a green and white 2020 Kawasaki KLX 300R dirt bike. The St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office needs your help identifying and locating this person, as well as any information to recover this stolen property. Anyone with information on the theft is urged to call 948-TIPS. All calls are anonymous, and you could earn a cash reward. St. Landry Sheriff's deputies also want you to be on the lookout for a black and white 2020 Torque Heartland camper with Louisiana license plate number J752047. Authorities say it was stolen December 8th from 1248 Highway 749 in the Opelousas area. Anyone with additional information about the crime is encouraged to call the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office or Crimestoppers at 948-TIPS.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome back to Acadiana Crimestoppers. Joining us today is St. Martin Parish Sheriff Beckett Bro, highlighting more cold cases in St. Martin Parish. So you were here a few weeks ago, and we highlighted, I believe, 3 or 4 cases, but you guys have more cases you would like to highlight. And of course, it's very important to get the public's help in these types of cases.
Absolutely. And you know, our goal is to have 0 cases, zero cold cases, and put every criminal who commits these horrific crimes in jail.
Exactly. So our first case that we're going to go over, this is of Cody James. When did this happen again?
This happened in the beginning of 25, January of 25. He was found in his vehicle deceased with gunshot wounds, and we're on the lookout for a white Chevy Trax.
Yeah, that's it right here. So you guys, and let me read a little bit about what happened. January 17th, shortly before 7 p.m. in the 2400 block of Catahoula Highway in St. Martinville, deputies located 45-year-old Cody James. Like you said, he was in his vehicle, and he was dead from a gunshot wound. Investigators are trying to identify this vehicle that you see on your screen, and of course, any information you can give to St. Martin Parish Crimestoppers at 441-3030, or you guys also have a mobile app that you can report tips to anonymously as well.
That's correct. P3 Tips app, and also, like you said, the telephone number. And each homicide case we bring up, it's up to $5,000 reward if it leads to apprehension and arrest of the individual who did this, or individuals. Like I said, we have innocent people dying, and it's not acceptable. And we want to put the individuals who did this to justice.
Well, we certainly hope that this segment can help with that. Someone out there, eyewitness, somebody may have some information that can finally close this case.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the second case we're going to cover, Javion Livings, in the early morning hours of August 14th, 2021, following a night out in downtown Lafayette. 19-year-old Javion Livings, man, he was young. Arrived at his home in the 1000 block of Kennedy Drive in Ornerville at approximately 3 a.m. And then shortly after, around 4 a.m., he was fatally injured when unknown individuals shot multiple rounds into his home. Following the shooting, 2 black men were seen running from the area. So does the investigation know if he was the target, or were they just shooting at the home and he just was an innocent bystander?
And that's one thing, you know, with these cases, you really don't know the motive till you arrest individuals and you put the puzzles together. You know, on this case, I don't even know if the individuals knew whether he was in there or an infant child or anyone. You know, you're shooting into a home, just randomly shooting, you know, and like I said, you have an individual in the house that died because of someone shooting at the house, you know, shooting at the home, multiple gunshot wounds, you know, and gunshots into the home.
Yeah. And so all you guys have is 2 black men were seen running from the area. Is that from an eyewitness?
Yes, one eyewitness said that, and you know, from that, we asked them for the public's help to maybe, if they can remember that night. I know it was years ago, but if they can remember anything from that night, or, you know, a lot of people talk to individuals, and even the little bitty things, you know, information, no matter what it is, if someone was there, if someone's seen people running, getting in a car, what type of car, any type of information we can get leads us in that direction, and hopefully, you know, put some puzzles together.
Yeah, so if you're out there, if someone is out there and you were an eyewitness to this, we ask that you please come forward again. Any tip that leads to an arrest or a conviction in a homicide case is a $5,000 reward, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so our last case that we're going to highlight, let's see here. I believe it's Blake Narcisse.
That's correct.
So you say that 23-year-old Blake Narcisse, another young guy, unfortunately. So tell me a little bit about that one. It says in the early morning hours of April 23rd, 2018, that's when this happened.
That's correct. And he was found in his car, deceased from a gunshot wound. You know, they're all pretty similar with gunshots, but you know, he's such a young age, and people losing their life at 23 years old, 45 years old. You know, anyone losing their life because of violent crime. I think the people who do this need to serve their time, and justice needs to be served. And we're asking the public, anything you have, you know, help us put these individuals in jail to make St. Martin Parish a safer place to raise our kids. You know, because the way I look at it, and you know, it would bother all of us. There's a murderer walking in the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So his car was found in a ditch near Orphe Guidry Road in Ornerville?
Yes, sir.
And it says investigators are asking for any tips, and of course the P3 Tips mobile app you can do, and also the number to St. Martin Parish Crime Stoppers.
Right, 337-441-3030. You know, and like I said, look, we want to put these criminals in jail, and the only way we can do it is a partnership with the public. And I'll say this all the time, and I mention it, working together to make a difference. That's our difference. Our difference is getting information, getting the public's help, you know, and putting these individuals in jails. I reiterate that all the time, because violent criminals need to serve their time and do their, you know, the time for the crime they did.
Yeah, and the partnership between law enforcement and community, as you said, is so important. And another thing that's important to remember, they have 3 families here that never got closure.
Right, absolutely.
That never got justice.
Right, and you know, listen, you got to put yourself, and I've always said that, put yourself in someone else's shoes, and you know, be that parent, you know, be that husband, or be that wife, or be that mother or father that lost a child. You know, 19 years old, 23 years old, 45 years old, that lost that child, lost that spouse. You know, what would you expect? And if you have information, look, come forward. It's anonymous. Your tips remain anonymous, and we go in the leads that we get to attempt to make arrests.
Yeah, and someone out there has a burden on their soul.
Absolutely.
And they need to do the right thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sheriff Bro, thank you so much for joining us on Acadiana Crimestoppers today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll be back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome back. Our partnership with law enforcement continues next week. Join us as we show you more wanted fugitives throughout Acadiana. Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas will be with us once again. We'll see what other suspects he is looking for. We appreciate you tuning in to Acadiana Crime Stoppers exclusively on KLFY+. We will be back next week detailing the latest crimes to be solved and perps to bring to justice.